These three realtors broke the real estate game. We're going to break them down. They've gotten to a point where they can grow infinitely, they can scale, they can operate on their own with very little inputs in terms of ad spend, very little inputs in terms of cold calling volume, and very little inputs in terms of team. They have the formula, and we're going to break down what that formula is. Right? First, we're going to start at first principles, where everything should start at first principles. So a realtor's number one objective, you might have heard this before, is to be the most known agent in your area. That is your only objective as a realtor, is for a lot of people in your area to know you and know that you are a realtor, right? For people to do a deal with you, they have to know you, right? How do we convert people knowing you to people doing a deal with you? Well, in order to do a deal, there are two essential elements that need to be present for every deal. Simple. What are they? A seller and a buyer. Sellers and buyers for every deal, right? I have sellers first because sellers are of prime importance to real estate agents, because sellers are the best buyers. Somebody sells their house, you're most likely buying another one, right? So how do we now, in order to say our objective is to do deals, our objective is to get X amount of GCI through X amount of deals, we apply the deal, to being the most known, and we come up with this thesis statement of how to be the most successful realtor. Be the most known realtor, be the most known agent in your area among sellers and buyers. Being the most known agent in your area among sellers and buyers gives you the highest possible chance to be the most successful realtor that can possibly be. Not even that you can be, but that can possibly be logically, right? So how do we get people to do a deal with us? Well, people go through 3 stages before they do any transaction or buy anything from any person. First, they have to know you. They can't do a deal with you if they don't know who you are. Second, they have to like you, right? They're not going to give you money if they don't like you. And third, they have to trust you. They're not going to give you access to the most important financial decision of their life if they don't trust you. So we're going to break down how we move a prospect from knowing to liking to trusting. So knowing, 2 ways that people can know you. Either you find them or they find you. The most traditional way that realtors find leads is by the realtor finding the lead, right? That's, seems to be intuitive. And the ways that this are done: paid ads, cold calling, and paid leads. Everyone knows this, right? Maybe direct email marketing could be another one, cold email. The problem with this is, in order to increase each of these categories, there has to be more effort put in, there has to be more resources put in, there has to be more money spent. And once the money stops being spent, all of these three options, including cold email, will stop working. If I'm not putting ads, if I'm not putting ad spend into my ads, I'm not getting clients for my ads, right? So you have to put in the grunt work to find them. The ideal situation is that your leads find you. When every realtor like that, for leads to just come into the door and they don't have to do any cold calling, they don't have to talk to any grumpy people. The 2 ways that this happens: one is through search. I say search is a quasi, you find them, they find you. It's more like you finding people who are looking for you or are looking for somebody like you. But the true way for people to find you, and the true mechanism for people to find you, is through organic social media, right? You post a video with certain keywords of a certain topic and targeted to a certain audience, your dream clientele, your dream audience, and the algorithm will find your audience for you. They'll find these leads for you, right? So this is the most, if all of these work perfectly, paid ads, cold calling, paid leads, and search, and organic would be the most desirable outcome, or the most desirable practice, right? So how do we move from knowing to liking? Well, there's 3 ways that anybody, gets to like somebody. They relate to them if they're familiar with them, and if they are presented as an authority figure or have status. Relatability is why you like people who have been through the same experiences as you. Familiarity is why you like people who you're around a lot, why you like classmates, right? Why we're all friends with people we went to school with. And authority is why, people like celebrities and things like this, right? So how do you move them from liking you to trusting you, right? Seek to understand before you seek to be understood. This is the golden rule. This is the golden rule. And this can only happen in a one-on-one conversation. And that's the goal of every marketing mechanism, is to have a good conversation with the lead. And when you have that conversation, your number one job is to listen to them. Understand their situation so that you can help them the best way possible. Don't just send them, a listing. Zillow can do that. So the formula for the formula for the most successful possible realtor is, the most successful possible realtor in all logical thinking is the most known agent, the most liked agent, and the most trusted agent in a certain area. If you can be the most known, liked, trusted in your farm area, you will be the most successful agent, hands down. So these are 3 agents now that I'm going to show you who have done this with just their phone. First is Glenda Baker. Glenda Baker is a realtor out of Atlanta, Georgia. She's amazing. You know, she has nearly 1 million followers on TikTok. She has 300,000 followers on Instagram. Her videos consistently get views. You see 10 million views, 2.7 million views, 30,000, 600. Like she's killing it, right? The next person, let's go here. The next person is Lacey Brushty. She is a Dallas realtor. She has 50,000 followers on this TikTok account and 20,000 followers on another one. And the third one is Zachary Loft, a Delaware realtor who has 1.7 million TikTok followers and 217,000 Instagram followers. All right, so these are the three people who we're going to be looking at. So why are we looking at these three particular people? I could have chosen so many realtors who are doing well on social media. Why did I pick these three particular people? I picked them because I wanted to pick realtors who have a strategy that anybody could copy, right? So if you look at their pages, you'll see there's no listings, right? No listings. There's not one house on Glenda's page, on Zachary's page that we just showed, or on Lacey's page. Not one house, right? So even if you've just started, you got your license today, you can do this. They make client-focused content, meaning they make content for people who they want to serve and not content so that they can sell something. 90% of realtors, misstep in this case. Recognizable. If you look at Glenda Baker's Instagram, her first thing, the most recognized face and voice in real estate video. People know her. That's what that is. People knowing her. All right. Authoritative. All of their content is them speaking to camera, giving their opinion, and giving insights into what is going on right now in affordable housing, in the cost of raising a family and things like this. They don't follow trends. Their brand is not reliant on things that come and go. Their brand is reliant on them and their personality, and they have access to that and no one else does. They have very minimal editing. I'll show you some videos. There's no editing. The craziest edit that will happen is a cut between one camera and another, right? And the texts are all native TikTok, Instagram text. It's very simple, and this is better. And seventh and most important is they over-index. Their videos over-index. If you look at Glenda's page, right? If you look at her views, 20,000, 12,000, 8,000, 5,000, 2,700, you can probably get an average, let's say, 10,000 views per video. And she has views that gets 10 million views. This is over-indexing. This is what over-indexing is when one piece of content drastically outperforms the set of content. And this is important because that means you have a content strategy that has the potential to go viral, right? You make videos for that one video that gets 1.5 million views, that gets 2.7 million views, 10 million views, 100,000 views. That's why you make the content, right? But you need to put in this work of putting out all these videos in order to get that one video, putting out all these videos in order to get that one video, but that is the goal. All right, so how are they doing this and what are they doing? First, we're gonna look at grid. This is your first impression. This is very important. One, we can see they all have, themselves in the profile picture. That's pretty basic. If we scroll down, we see a common denominator in all of these posts, and that is a face. That is a face, and in some places text on her profile. On Glenda's profile, it's a face and text on every single thumbnail. On Zachary's, you're gonna make me refresh it. All right, we'll go to Instagram. On Zachary's, it's a face and it's a face and caption, a face and text on every single video. You do this, and why this is a good strategy, people need an in, right? Home prices for young people. I'm a young person. I want to buy a home. This looks like a video for me. It has 30,000 views. It has social proof. I want to watch this video. It gives me an in and something to connect with, all right? So face and text. Give people an in, not only to you and your personality through your face and likeness, but also through a text hook to give them context. So what are they doing in their actual content? First, they're engaging their audience through creating gaps. Gaps are created when there is a difference between the knowledge of the speaker and the listener, right? So if I tell you I made 100 million, or I made $1 million in GCI, or 100 million in GCI this year, let's have a crazy number. I've now created a gap between me and you if you didn't do 100 million in GCI this year, and a gap that is very relevant to you as a realtor because you probably want to do 100 million GCI, or at least you want to hear how I did it, right? So maybe you can, 2x your thing. This is a gap. This is the essence of a gap. A difference in knowledge or behavior between two people. So let's go to Glenda's page, excuse me. Let's see her create a gap. 10 million views. Let's see this video over-indexed.
So once upon a time, I sold a big ass house.
Once upon a time, I sold a big ass house.
So once upon a time, I sold a big ass house, and I made $137,000.
Once upon a time, I sold a big ass house and made $137,000. There is a gap between that behavior that she did that accomplishment that she had and 99% of people. How many people have had made $100,000 on a house as a realtor? Let's go to Lacey's page and see her create a gap.
I'm going to teach you where to find investment properties that are going to gain equity quickly in North Texas, and I'm going to show you how I know that.
Showing me how to find investment properties in North Texas that gain equity quickly. I don't know how to do that. She does. She's created a gap, right? A good gap is a relevant gap, right? A relevant gap is something that your dream audience wants to hear and something that your dream audience is interested in, right? So her dream audience, is people looking for real estate in Dallas, Texas. So let's look at this video.
If you're relocating to around Dallas, Texas from another state, there are two things that you need to know.
Two things that you need to know when moving to Dallas, Texas. I don't know anything that you need to know when moving to Dallas, Texas. If I'm thinking about it, I'm going to watch the video. And I am her dream audience. This is who she wants to talk to. People moving to Dallas, Texas and buying real estate. So to serve your dream audience, what you have to do is listen. And you listen to your dream audience by finding, videos that are performing well, like this one. Every realtor should have, this is what you should do when relocating to my city. Every realtor should have that in 2025. All right, so you find videos like that, you see what people are engaging with, and this will inform you on what you should be posting about. And closing the circle, they fill this gap through their expertise. You lead a person on a journey from, one place to another, and when they get to their destination, they're better off for it because they have a piece of knowledge or information that they didn't have prior to it. This builds a relationship and connection between you and a prospect, a lead, a viewer. So why does this matter? Why does any of this matter? Well, it matters if you want to do an extra 2 to 3 deals per month. It matters if you want to build a real estate brand that will continue to grow over a long span of time and that you are an owner of, right? If you're buying a Zillow lead, you don't own any lead. You don't own, it's shared between 3 to 5 other agents. You don't own the lead generation system. So you're constantly, it's like you're putting a Band-Aid over a cut. Your business needs leads and you're paying somebody else to solve that when you can solve it yourself with just your iPhone, right? So people, in order to do more deals, if you want to close 2 to 3 deals per month, you need 2 to 3 more people per month to know, like, and trust you. People need to know you, right? And who needs to know you specifically? Sellers and buyers need to know, like, and trust you. So we're talking about an extra 2 to 3 deals per month. What does that look like in terms of how many more people need to be in your sphere of influence? How many more people need to be, on your short list and in your Rolodex? Well, we know that 3 to 4% of any market is in market at any particular time. Meaning, if I live in a city with 1 million people, 4% of those people are in market to buy or sell a property, right? And that's about 40,000 people, right? If I live in a city with 1 million people, about 40,000 people are in market to buy or sell property at any particular time, and all the realtors in my locality are fighting over those 40,000 in market people. So how can you reach these people most effectively, most efficiently, and with a model that will scale? It's not cold calling 40,000 people individually. If we look at Glenda Baker's page, this video has 10 million views, right? She's an Atlanta realtor. Let's look at population of Atlanta. Atlanta population 500,000. It's got to be the greater Atlanta area. All right, 6.4 million people. That sounds about right. All right, so if we go this times 6, that's about 250,000 people that are in market in the greater Atlanta area at any particular time. And she has a video that 10 million people watched. I would bet that at least 1 million of those people are in Atlanta, right? And if we take 4% of those 1 million people who are in Atlanta, that means 40,000 people who are in market watched this video who are in her locality. 40,000 people. 40,000 people who know her, who have heard her voice, who have heard her speak authoritatively, who like her, who relate to her, who are familiar with her because she's posting consistently, and a percentage of those people who even trust her, or a percentage of those, and an even higher percentage of those people who, it wouldn't be hard to build a trusting relationship with because they're already, familiar with you and they view you as an authority. All right. So Gary Carruth is a realtor out of Alabama who's done multiple 100 deal years and has done multi-million dollars in real estate transactions as a realtor. He says in order to do 100 deals in a year, you need 25 people on your ABS list. 25 people. Your ABS list is your active buyers and sellers list. Meaning if I have 25 people on my active buyers and sellers list who have told me that they plan to buy or sell in the next 6 months, and I list 2 of those properties, I now need to replace those 2 people with another 2 people who are looking to buy or sell in the next 6 months. If we take that equation that we did with Glenda Baker's Instagram, or Glenda Baker's TikTok page, excuse me, and this one video, mind you, per month, she is most certainly getting tens of millions of views on TikTok and Instagram combined, maybe even hundreds of millions each month, right? So if you take that equation, if you have 100 million views, you only need 25 of those 100 million views to be active buyers and sellers and be on your list. And all you need to convert those views and those people who know you to people who do deals with you is a system. You need some kind of middle of funnel lead nurture system and data capturing system, right? How do they get on your list? Now, this is the question. Once you get the views, how do they get on your list? Well, you make an exchange with them, an equal exchange of value for access. You know, if you post a video of a relocation guide for your city, offer them a full guide with, you know, each neighborhood, you know, the deals and the comps and, you know, everything in exchange for their email and phone number. So now you can reach out to them, have multiple touch points, and start to build that relationship, right? So that's now how they get on your list. And how do you convert them now? How do you convert them from somebody who is on your list, somebody who is in your lead system, to somebody who does a deal with you? You need to have a conversation. You need to have a conversation. There needs to be a qualification process of you making sure this person is serious. And then once that qualification process is, you know, handled, and it's and you know that this person is, you know, really has the funds to buy or really has the intent to sell, you need to pick up the phone and you need to call them, right? And you can do this through, you know, you need to ultimately call them. The warm-up system can be done through text, it can be done through DM, it can be done through email in order to qualify and warm somebody up and connect with them. And all of these are done in order to gain trust, because trust is the final piece of the puzzle to doing a deal, right? And these realtors are gaining trust every single day while they sleep. Every single time somebody watches one of these videos from Glenda Baker, they trust her more. Every single time somebody, all right, well, this is not working for me, let's see. Every single time somebody watches Zachary Loft video about, you know, how to buy a home in 2030.
I'm going to be walking you through how to buy a
for
home by
young
2030.
buyer.
That means you'll be able to own real estate within the next 5 years, and to be able to tell you that, it's going to require a little bit of conversation between you and I.
Very conversational, but that's a side topic. They are building this every second of every single day without any additional effort on their parts, apart from filming the video and posting the video. This model is unbeatable if done right by any other model. You cannot keep pace if you're cold calling with somebody who's doing organic social that's working. You cannot keep pace doing paid ads unless you have, you know, just absorbent amounts of money and you're a big brokerage already. With someone who, and even then, somebody who's doing organic social, I would argue and I would posit would be doing better than that brokerage, right? So this is the way of realtors of the future. The next Sirhan, you know, the next David Seidens, they will be the realtors who really win in 2030.